the sixth season of American animated television series Adventure Time, created by Pendleton Ward, began airing on Cartoon Network in the United States following the series' fifth season. The series is based on a short produced for Frederator's Nicktoons network animation incubator series Random Cartoons. The season follows the adventures of Finn, a human boy, and his best friend and adoptive brother Jake, a dog with magical powers which allow him to shapeshift at will. Finn and Jake live in the post-apocalyptic Land of Ooo. Along the way, they interact with the other main characters of the show, Princess Bubblegum, the Ice King, and Marceline the Vampire Queen. The season premiered with the two-part episode Wake Up and Escape from the Citadel on April 21, 2014. The episode was viewed by 3.321 million viewers and marked a significant increase in ratings from the previous season finale. Starting with the sixth episode Breezy, the series began airing on Thursday nights, as opposed to Monday nights. The season was storyboarded and written by Andy Rustano, Cole Sanchez, Tom Herpich, Steve Wolford, C.O. Kim, Somvalake Sherphone, Graham Volk, Misaki Yuasa, Jesse Moynihan, Derek Ballard, Adam Ruto, Kent Osborne, Emily Partridge, Bert Youn, Madeline Flores, Gillian Tamaki, Sam Alden, and Brandon Graham. The season also featured Yuasa as a guest animator for the episode Food Chain. The season was produced by Cartoon Network Studios and Frederator Studios. In addition, several compilation DVDs that contain episodes from the season are slated for future release. Development Concept: the season follows the adventures of Finn a human boy, and his best friend Jake, a dog with magical powers to change shape, grow, and shrink at will. Finn and Jake live in the post-apocalyptic Land of Ooo. Along the way, they interact with the other main characters of the show, Princess Bubblegum, the Ice King, and Marceline the Vampire Queen. Common storylines revolve around Finn and Jake discovering strange creatures, dealing with the antagonistic but misunderstood Ice King, and battling monsters in order to help others. Production. On January 28, 2013, during the middle of the show's fifth season, it was officially announced by Cartoon Network that the show had been renewed. In July 2013, storyboard artist Jesse Moynihan revealed that production for the sixth season had begun. According to co-executive producer Adam Ruto, the season will have more than 26 episodes, but less than the previous season, which was composed of 52. After the writers pitch the stories, the ideas are compiled onto a 2 to 3 page outline that contain the important beats. The episodes are then handed off to storyboard artists. The episode's design and coloring are done in Burbank, California. Animation is handled overseas in South Korea by Rough Draft Korea. While almost all of the animation for the show is done through this studio, the episode Food Chain was written and animated entirely by noted Japanese animator Misaki Yuasa. Much like David O'Reilly in the previous season, was given free rein to do whatever he wanted with the episode. The episode was entirely animated by Yuasa's own studio. The season has so far been storyboarded and written by Andy Rustano, Cole Sanchez, Tom Herpich, Steve Wolford, C.O. Kim, Somvalake Sherphone, Graham Volk, Derek Ballard, Jesse Moynihan, Misaki Yuasa, Adam Ruto, Kent Osborne, Emily Partridge, Bert Youn, and Madeline Flores. Various other freelance artists, such as Gillian Tamaki, Sam Alden and Brandon Graham, will also work on this season with Moynihan, and he also worked on 3 episodes entirely by himself. Herpich and Wolford have also each worked on their own solo episodes. The Prince Who Wanted Everything marked the return of Youn, a storyboarder for the series' first, third, and fourth seasons. He had left after the first season for mandatory military service in his native South Korea, and returned during the third season. He once again left the series after the conclusion of its fourth season to focus his attention on Studio Spiro in Seoul, South Korea. However, while the sixth season was being storyboarded, Adam Ruto revealed on Spring Me that Youn was likely to lend a hand, on Adventure Time now and then, when he was in the Los Angeles area. According to Youn, however, The Prince Who Wanted Everything was a one-off gig, as he is currently working on Over the Garden Wall. Something Big, written and boarded solely by Jesse Moynihan, was originally intended to be the first part of a proposed 45-minute Adventure Time TV movie which had begun production midway through Season 5. However, the special was eventually scrapped when the crew encountered problems trying to work each artist's contributions into a coherent piece, leading Moynihan to rework his section as a standalone episode. Cast: the voice actors include voice acting veterans John DiMaggio, Tom Kenny, and Pendleton Ward. In addition, Jeremy Shudder portrays the voice of Finn the Human, and Olivia Olson portrays Marceline the Vampire Queen. Ward himself provides the voice for several minor characters, including Lumpy Space Princess. Former storyboard artist Nki Yang voices the sentient video game console BMO in English, as well as Jake's girlfriend, Lady Rainicorn, in Korean. Polly Lou Livingston, a friend of Pendleton Ward's mother, Betty Ward, plays the voice of the small elephant Tree Trunks. Jessica D. Psycho voices Flame Princess, Finn's former romantic interest. The season's first few episodes also feature the Lick, the series' principal antagonist. The Lick is portrayed by Ron Perlman. The Adventure Time cast records their lines together in group recordings as opposed to different recording sessions with each voice actor. This is to record more natural-sounding dialogue among the characters. Hynden Walk described these group recordings as like doing a play reading a really out there play. Several voices actors and actresses reprised their characters in this season. The season openers, Wake Up, and Escape from the Citadel, feature the return of Kumail Nanjiani as Prismo, M. Emmett Walsh as the Cosmic Owl, and Miguel Ferrer as Death and one of the heads of Grob Gob Glob Grod. James 2 features Andy Merrill reprising his role as James. Andy Milanikis returns in Sad Face, and Furniture and Meat to play the never-ending pie-throwing robot. Comedienne Melinda Hill reprises her role as Dr. Princess in Breezy. The Prince Who Wanted Everything saw the return of Madeline Martin as Finna, and Roz Ryan as Cake. Steve Agee returns as the ancient psychic tandem war elephant in both Furniture and Meat, and Something Big, and actress Jill Talley reprises her role as Majar in the latter. Something Big also sees the return of Keith Ferguson as Colonel Candy Corn. Kristen Scull and Dan Mintz reprise their roles as Jake Jr. and TV, respectively, in Ocarina. Duncan Trussell, Steve Little, Dana Snyder, and series storyboard artists Cole Sanchez, return in Thanks for the Crab Apples, Giuseppe, playing the roles of Ron James, Abracadaniel, the ancient sleeping magi of life-giving, and Little Dude, respectively. The series also regularly employs guest voices for various characters. Finn's father, Martin, first introduced in Escape from the Citadel, is voiced by Stephen Root. The Tower guest stars the AV Club columnist Cameron Esposito as Carol the Cloud Woman. Brett Gelman voices the bug ringleader in Sad Face. Ashley Birch voices a bee-named Breezy in the episode of the same name, and a blacksmith in Little Brother. Regular show writer and voice actor Minty Lewis voices Erin the Caterpillar in Food Chain. Lumpy Space Prince, the gender-switched version of Lumpy Space Princess, appeared in the episode The Prince Who Wanted Everything, voiced by Peter Serafinovich. Prolific voice actor Alan Oppenheimer also voices Darren and the Sun in Something Big. James Urbaniak plays both Leaf Beard and the Rat King in Little Brother. Thurop Van Orman, a former supervising producer and writer for series during its second season, also appears in the aforementioned episode, playing the part of Kent. Ocarina guest stars Mark Evan Jackson and Paget Brewster as Kinkilwan and Viola, respectively. Katie Crown voices a character in Thanks for the Crab Apples, Giuseppe. Various other characters are voiced by voice acting veterans D. Bradley Baker and Maria Bamford. Reception, ratings. The season debuted on April 21, 2014, with the two-part episode Wake Up/Escape from the Citadel. Together, both episodes were viewed by 3.321 million viewers and scored a 0.7 Nielsen rating in the 18-49-year-old demographic. Nielsen ratings are audience measurement systems that determine the audience size and composition of television programming in the United States, which means that the episodes were seen by 0.7% of all households aged 18 to 49 years old were watching television at the time of the episode's airing. This marked a slight decrease in viewers when compared to the previous season premiere Finn the Human/Jake the Dog, but it marked a massive increase of almost 1 million viewers when compared with the previous season finale, Billy's Bucket List. The premiere was also the most watched Cartoon Network telecast at the time of its airing among children aged €11 and €14, as well as with boys €11 and €14. This marked a 153% increase in ratings when compared to the same time the previous year. For the first 5.5 seasons, the show aired on Monday nights. However, starting with Breezy, the show started airing new episodes on Thursday nights. Reviews and accolades: the season opened with largely positive critical reviews. Eric Cohn of IndieWire applauded the two-part season opener, Wake Up, and Escape from the Citadel, for taking a darker turn in regards to the series' storytelling. Furthermore, he noted that the storyline concerning Finn's cursed sword armor an ingredient that has festered in the sidelines for weeks reaches a beguiling new state. Likewise, Oliver Sava of the AV Club complimented the episodes for being full of harsh realizations concerning Finn's father and the vulnerability of his body. He ultimately concluded that the developments of these two episodes dramatically alter the series' unregistered trademark status quo to give the season an added boost of momentum from the very beginning. Home media: Warner Home Video is scheduled to release a DVD volume entitled Princess Day, which will contain the eponymous Season 6 episode. All DVD releases can be purchased on the Cartoon Network shop, and the individual episodes can be downloaded from both the iTunes Store and Amazon.com. Episodes. Notes: information regarding story development and storyboard artists is taken from all of the episode's opening credits. References.